Okay. Where will that is today? Anybody remembers? Huh?
Meditating on impermanence.
Impermanence. Anybody?
No. No. La souffrance présente.
Les deux terroristes et l'avion ou le train qui nous embarquent à la souffrance.
The two terrorists and the train that ejects us in suffering.
Okay. Isn't this mine? No?
No.
This is it.
No, yes.
Okay, anybody else? Howard? Three lots of suffering, we finished. Sophia?
The third seal. You just named the third seal. As a force?
Yes. Thank you. Okay, Maria?
Oui, c'est sur la souffrance omnipénétrante qui pénètre tous les objets mondains qui nous attirent.
We have seen the all-pervasive suffering which pervades all the mundane pleasures.
Okay. So most of you must have enjoyed yesterday's class. You want to take me back. Maria, Dora, Maria Tenzin, Maria Lumu. Two Marias. They're taking, and then Lori also take us back. They enjoyed the talk yesterday. Okay, so once we left at the third seal, what Sophie said, we left at the point the third seal. The question was, if this is the kind of the suffering, so how to bring an end to the suffering? It is true. Bring an end to the cause of the suffering. Ye dharma prabhava. And what is the cause of suffering? Then we discuss quantum karmas, gross afflictions, inappropriate attention, and the self-grasping feelings. And to see the very pure nature of water, we need to first stop the gross ways, purify the negative contaminated karmas. Then once the waves are stopped, then the bubbles inside. To stop the bubbles of the afflictions, we need to practice the various remedies, attachment, impurities, anger, compassion, and so forth. And then the subtle particles like the subtle sand, like the inappropriate attention, we need to meditate on the relativity of phenomena, relativity. How things exist on relative terms. There's nothing really for us to exaggerate anything there, but to see things in relative terms. And then finally, the self-grasping ignorance. Then only then we can touch the self-grasping ignorance. So how to get into self-grasping ignorance? Then we said we have to introduce the light of the wisdom. What is that wisdom? So wisdom, we talked about yesterday, I'm scared. So, I'm scared. So to remove my fear, Venerable Elizabeth said that there's no tiger, don't worry. So still my fear did not go away. Then the Virginia 18 said, there's no snake. Still my fear did not go away. You remember that? We did that. So they don't pretend as though I did not cover these things. You taking me to do them all over again. Then finally, Anne Sophia said, right? And so what did you say?
What are you afraid of?
What are you afraid of? Right? And so Anne Sophia saying that there's no wild cats, don't worry. She didn't say that. She said, what are you afraid of? She asked me. Then I said, I'm afraid of malaria. Then, and Sophia would say that this Kalachakra Center is mosquito-free zone. Right? Mosquito-free zone, and I'm relieved. Okay, so what I'm saying is that all these are valid minds. There's no tiger, there's no snake, there's no wild cats. These are all valid minds. Not ignorance, they are the wisdom. But we don't want any wisdom, we want a specific wisdom. Wisdom which is directly in opposition with the ignorance which is responsible for all the problems. Of all the various wisdom to see the absence of tiger, absence of snake, absence of wild cats and so forth, and absence of mosquitoes. Of these wisdom, I'm looking for the wisdom which realizes that there's no mosquito here, because what scared me, the ignorance which scares me, is the ignorance which views that there's the mosquitoes in this campus, which can potentially bring malaria, cause malaria. Okay, so then the question is, what is this wisdom? The wisdom, what we said, what is that particular wisdom, specific wisdom? The wisdom is the discerning mind whose apprehension of the object tallies with the reality. What's the reality? The third seal. Everything is of the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Okay, this is where we left yesterday. Laura, you agree with me?
Yes.
Yes. And who else? Mary?
Yes.
Both Marys? Mary Ram, Mary Tanvi, both agree with me? No? Yes. Okay, so this is where we left yesterday. So what does it mean by, what is this reality? This reality is the third seal. Everything is the nature of emptiness, selflessness. What do you understand by, what do you mean by emptiness and selflessness? This is a question. Okay. So this emptiness, experience of emptiness and selflessness is so precious. And oftentimes, and of course, from tomorrow we will also, in the morning prayers, morning meditation, we also read the chapter from Aranyakarjuna's, the chapter 9, the wisdom chapter. From there we will read about the 15 or 20 stanzas. So there he very clearly stated that the correct path to liberation is something which is so difficult to meet with. The correct path to the liberation. To find the correct path is so difficult difficult. Okay, so Guru Sabhashanti's text, chapter 9, stanza 161 reads, furthermore, devils are exerting themselves to cast us into vast unfortunate realms. Meaning that the devils, they are putting every effort that we are in the unfortunate realms, in the suffering realms. There are many mistaken paths. So people follow through the various paths. Oh, I met with this teacher, that teacher, I met with this tradition, that tradition, I met with this dharma practice and so forth. But they say meeting with the correct path, so that's because most of the paths, they are incorrect. They are the mistaken paths. It says there are many mistaken paths. And it is hard to resolve doubts about the perfect way. Which is the perfect way is so difficult to discern. The perfect way, which takes us to understand emptiness, is so difficult to find. And it is hard to resolve doubts about the perfect way. It will be hard to find the leisure of human life again, and extremely difficult to find the presence of the Buddhas. it's hard to forsake this thought of afflictions, allow sentient beings to continue to suffer. Okay. So the wisdom of emptiness is so rare to meet with in the first place. And another thing that I would like to share with you is that we meet with various teachers. Some teachers may focus on the single point of meditation. Some teachers may focus on compassion. Some teachers may focus on the emptiness. Some teachers may focus on tantra. Okay. So the point is, when we see these standard texts which emphasize so much on the need for the wisdom of emptiness and compassion, and then at times we may easily feel that, oh, this teacher did not really teach me emptiness, this teacher did not really teach me about bodhicitta, so that is wrong. The point is, no one to blame. And in fact, as long as one is taught, if somebody taught you shamatha taught you a very standard shamatha, even that is so precious. Let's not forget this. And somebody taught you about compassion, if there's something sensible, something meaningful, something beneficial, even that is very precious. So now, somebody who taught shamatha doesn't teach you emptiness. Somebody who taught you emptiness doesn't teach you compassion, and so forth. So the point is, we should be wise to make sure that we're able to extract good things from all these sources. And you become a complete practitioner of the complete path. That is important. So instead of blaming others, somehow they take the responsibility by yourself to make sure that what you're doing is complete and complete in terms of the material, and it has the effect to actually take you there to the goal. Okay, for that matter, let us. This reminds me of Aryadeva, Aryagarjuna's Aryadhisadu Aryadeva. In his book, 400 verses, he very clearly said that he very clearly indicated, pointed to the importance, the preciousness of meeting with the teacher on emptiness. So what he said is that those with less merit will not even have a doubt on this teaching on emptiness. Those with less merit will not even have a doubt on this teaching on emptiness. Should there be a doubt arising pertaining to the emptiness of the reality, the emptiness nature of the phenomena, this will shatter your samsara into pieces. So to understand emptiness, of course, even just to have a doubt, what is emptiness like? I heard about it, it's so interesting, what is this like? I want to know about it. So this kind of curiosity comes to you, that shatters samsara into pieces. This is what this great saint Bodhisattva Aryadeva said. So, with this in mind, we need to know what is this emptiness. So this the teaching, the third seal, that everything is empty, everything is the nature of emptiness, selflessness. What it is saying, what the Buddha is saying, is that what we are seeing, what we are perceiving, what we are experiencing, there is a cognitive error there. Meaning, for example, if there's somebody who is so kind, somebody who is so nice, somehow you have a very bad companion, and a bad companion gives you a very bad, very wrong feedback of the person A, who you're going to meet. Let's say the person is so selfish, so cunning, so bad, and then you already get a very wrong impression of person A. And you meet a person A, and the person somehow the person behaves so nicely. Anything good thing the person A does, you read it as negative, because you already got a very wrong impression of person A, misled by somebody else. So this is not the reality of person A. And as you are being with the person A more for a longer period of time, then you discover that the person is so good. When you see the person is so good, whole your perception of what the person A changes, then your emotional states also change. You feel loving, caring towards person A. So likewise, say for example, let's say okay, I think that would be good to study a little bit of the psychology, how the mind works. Mind works in two ways. One, the basic state of mind. Number two, the cognitive state of the mind. The basic state of the mind and the cognitive state of the mind. Okay, so let me look at this flower. This flower. This is fresh today. Today it came new. I look at this flower. Wow, it's so nice. So cognitively, I see a fresh flower. Cognitively, I see a fresh flower. This is my perception. On the basis of this perception, a very pleasant feeling comes in me. Do you agree with me? I see a very fresh flower there, with the color combination, the design, and the aesthetics. Everything is so nice. So cognitively, I see the aesthetically so perfect. Then what's the corresponding feeling? A very pleasant feeling comes into me. On the other hand, say, this morning I heard very tragic news, a very sad news, and then my state of mind is very gloomy. My state of mind is very gloomy, and then I come here, cognitively I see the aesthetically perfect flower there, cognitively. But because my state of mind is very gloomy, it does not trigger this pleasant feeling within me. So, for the pleasant feeling to arise in me, what happens is that it requires two things. One is, the state of mind should not be disturbed. And cognitively, it should be cognizing something which is nice. Cognitive state of mind and the basic state of mind. Two things. With this mind, I like to share with you what is known as the five ever-present mental functions. So let's say we talk about the French government. French government is very effective. I say French government is very effective. And then you are very, very curious. How does he know that French government is so effective? And you want to go into more detail. How will you go into more detail? You will say which part of the French government, which department, which ministry is very efficient, right? Government has many ministries, many departments, many ministries. Which ministry is very, very effective? So, on what basis you tell me, on what basis the various ministries are assigned, allocated? Any idea from government? Anybody from government? No? Zero? No? Okay. Just guess. On what basis the various ministries are allocated?
By what the need is, by what the need. So you have transportation, you have people clean up, they have to.
On the basis of the need. On the basis of need, so the government has to function. Government has to function on the basis of the needs, right? For example, do you think that the Singapore government or the Vatican government has the Ministry of Culture? No, Ministry of Agriculture? No. Why not?
They don't have. In Singapore, they don't have land.
They do have land. They don't have the land for cultivation. They don't have land, right? A small land is there. Okay, so Singapore does not have the department of the Ministry for Culture, no Ministry of Agriculture, because they don't have agricultural land, right? There's no function. There's no need for agricultural ministry. Okay, so in a way what I'm saying is that the government, we speak about government is so good, government is so effective. We are talking about government in general. Then you may be you may know some problems with the government, but not that all parts of the government of the is wrong. So you may ask me which part of the government is good. So I may say the Ministry of Education. Ministry of Education is so effective. So which means that the same government has many functions. On the list of the functions, then the various ministries are allocated. Likewise, our mind in general is like the government. And the mind has many functions. These functions are allocated as mental factors. So mind in general and the mental factors in specifics. You're getting it? Mind and mental factors. The mental factors, tell me, how many such the mental functions are there? For example, some people are good in compassion, some people may not be good in compassion but may be good in mathematics, some people may be good in single-point meditation, some people may not be good in single-point meditation but good in analytic meditation, some people may be good in chemistry, not in physics, some in physics, not in chemistry, some in biology, some may not be in science at all, some may be in literature, poetry, and so forth. So tell me, how these are all determined by the mental functions. How many such functions and mental functions are there? Tell me. How many such mental functions are there? 51. 84,000. Okay, those of us who are new, don't worry that they are giving precise numbers. Don't worry, speak your mind. Maybe your answer is correct. Those people who are new, your answer may be more correct than those people who put the numbers. Don't be intimidated. Don't feel intimidated to hear the numbers. What number should I give? I have no number. Right? Okay, and Sophie, how many such functions are there?
No, a lot. Many.
Okay. Many. 51, 84,000. Anybody else? Yes, Thomas?
Autant qu'on en a besoin. As much as we need.
And this is very dramatic.
As many as we need.
As many as we need. If you need 2, then 2.
No, karma.
Huh?
Karma.
Karma meaning?
As many as we can have with our karma.
If the karma is 4, then 4. Okay, tell me, speak your mind. Don't worry about these numbers. But with the newcomers, you may feel intimidated. Oh, I don't know anything. They are coming with a precise number 51, 84,000. Don't worry, speak your mind. Your answer may be more correct than others. Yes?
Moi, je dirais presque infini.
Almost infinite.
Almost infinite. Almost infinite, not infinite. Okay, what is taken out? Almost. 1 missing. 99.9%. Okay, almost infinite. Anybody else?
80.
80. Oh, where did you get this number from? Okay, anybody? Yes, Laura.
Is it for only humans or for any type of being?
For any sentient beings.
I don't know.
Even for human beings. Even for human beings is good enough. Mary?
Il y en a beaucoup, mais on les a réduits à 51.
There are many, but we resume them as 51.
Okay, anybody else? Just tell me how many. They are infinite, not almost infinite. It's infinite, right? It's infinite. Infinite numbers are there. Okay, of the infinite numbers, for the sake of our spiritual practice, then 51 are taken out. 51 are taken out, which are more directly related to our spiritual practice. 51 are taken out. Okay, so of these, I'd like to discuss with you the first 5. The first 5, which are known as the ever-present mental factors. Ever-present mental fact. These five, I'd like to discuss these five with you. They are so important. Ever-present meaning, you have anybody, wherever there's mind, these five functions should be there. Whatever mind it might be, or any mind, should necessarily have these five functions. These five functions are known as the ever-present mental factors. 5 ever-present mental factors. Okay, what are they? Okay, number 1, contact. Number 2, attention. Number 3, discrimination. Number 4, feeling. Number 5, intention. Okay, number 1. Number 1, contact. Number 1, contact. Number 2, attention. Number 3, discrimination. Number 4, feeling. Number 5, intention. Very good. Contact, attention, discrimination, feeling, intention. These 5 operate simultaneously, not sequentially. These 5 operate simultaneously, don't forget it. And I'll explain in order for us to remember these 5 so well, I'll explain them as though like a causally connected. I'll explain them as though like they're causally. They are not causally connected, they are simultaneous, don't forget it. Okay, let's say that okay, is there anybody whose birthday is nearing or approaching nearby? July 6th, your birthday, I asked. Next month. Anybody else?
29th July.
Old Tamu?
10th July.
10 July. Okay, let's say 10 July. 10 July, we are here or not? Old Tamu is here?
We'll be here.
We are here. Oh, she's not here. Okay, you have to stay here. Okay, all will be here 10 July and 10 July. Early morning, fast asleep. Early morning, fast asleep. Oh, and everybody goes with the cheesecake. Right? And wake her up. She's very fast asleep and her eyes are very hazy. She goes, what is this? What is this? So her eyes come in contact with the cheesecake. Did you get what I'm saying? Her eyes comes in contact with the cheesecake, number 1. Contact, number 1. So because her eyes are very blurry, still half asleep, she could not see what that is. So what will she do? She'll pay attention. What is this? Number 2, she'll pay attention. Paying attention, she discriminates that it is cheesecake. Discrimination comes. And she likes cheesecake so much. Then what happens? Knowing that it's cheesecake, it's a big cheesecake, what happens? Hey, very pleasant feeling comes. Right? Discrimination, feeling. Then what will she do? She'll grab at it. Right? She'll grab at it, meaning she will stretch her arms towards the cheesecake. What made her to grab at the cheesecake? The intention to have it. Intention to have this cheesecake makes the hands to go towards the cheesecake. You getting it? Okay. So this is how all our actions. What is this? Hands moving towards that. That's the action, karma. That karma is because of the intention inside. This intention is because of the pleasant feeling. This pleasant feeling is because of the discernment that this is a cheesecake. This discernment comes to being because of the attention paid. This attention given to being because of the common contact with the cheesecake. You're getting it? This is how we see that these 5 they play a very important role in our all activities, all karma accumulation, be it positive karma accumulation or negative karma accumulation, all are operating on the basis of these 5 mental factors. You getting it? Okay. Now the next point is that finally our job is to get it. Okay, for example, let's say our job is to get rid of all our fears. So fear is what? Fear is like, say, by the way, it's lucky that we are far away from the city. Usually when I give the example of cheesecake, the next day people come up with a big cheesecake for me. Right? When I give the example of cheesecake, it doesn't mean that I like it. And people think that he likes cheesecake a lot. Literally, it happened twice in Singapore.
Do you like cheesecake?
No. I give the example because I know that people like cheesecake. So for this reason that I give the example. And lucky that we are far away from the city. Otherwise, tomorrow again people will bring cheesecake. Okay, so what I'm saying is that this is very important. Finally, what we want to, say, some people, they don't like cheesecake. Right? Some people, they don't like cheese in the first place. So they see the cheesecake, they are pushed by the cheesecake. Right? They are pushed by the cheesecake. They don't like it. Oh no. And some people, they like it, they go towards the cheesecake. Okay, so like going towards the cheesecake is the intention to go towards the cheesecake. Run away from it, intention to run away. You getting it? Intention to go towards the cheesecake, that is attachment. Intention to run away from cheesecake, this is aversion. So the intention plays a role. Intention determines attachment, aversion, and say liking towards virtue is virtue. Disliking towards virtue is non-virtue. Liking towards non-virtue is non-virtue. Disliking towards non-virtue is virtue. You're getting it? So this intention plays a very important role in the arising of the positive emotions and negative emotions. Positive karmas, negative karmas. They are all determined by this intention. Okay, with this, now, this intention, how does this intention arise? This intention, for example, intention of going towards the object or running away from the object. How does this intention arise? On this what? Okay, let's say that we're going to celebrate so the group discussion is so full of fun, it's so good, group discussion. I'm so excited to take part in the group discussion. You may have that aspiration to attend the group discussion. Then what happens? Immediately before you go to the group discussion, you hear very bad news. Very bad news means, what is your mental feeling? Oh, the unpleasant feeling. Then, the very next moment is a group discussion. Will you go or not? Most likely you will not go. Most likely you will not go. You say that now I changed my mind. Why? Because the pleasant feeling is not invoked. Whereas if that unfortunate incident did not happen, then just to merely think about group discussion, it invokes joy in you. You getting it? So when the joy comes, joy happens with what? Joy arises with the feeling of the group discussion. So this group discussion triggers joy in you. Then you want to have it. So that will make you go towards the group discussion. Whereas to think of the group discussion, look, people, they are already very advanced. They already did the retreat last year. They already know so many things. And even if I say something, they will say something which is very complicated. So, I'm not really interested. Unpleasant feeling arises. The moment the bell rings for the group discussion, your heart sinks. You don't feel like this. So look, all our actions are determined by the intention. And this intention is determined by the feeling. Feeling. So therefore, okay, let's say, how many of us, we have the tendency for laziness? Okay, morning, right? Okay, morning. Right? Okay, morning. Okay, tomorrow morning I'll get up at 5. Then you set your alarm at 5. 5 alarm rings. Okay, and then 10 minutes. 10 minutes rings, and then 5 minutes. Right? Okay, how many it happens? Go on. Right? It happens to all of us. It's not just one person or 2 person. It happens to all of us. So what I'm saying is that, say for example, okay, say you're at home, and then you have this book with you. Then on the 9th day or 10th day, the last day, I would suggest you to read this book on a daily basis, 1 page, half page a day. And then, say you have some kind of telephone conversation with your friends, after being dispersed from this retreat. On telephone conversation, last we talked about everything's illusion-like. We talked about the 4 seals. What is the 3rd seal? You don't remember, right? What is in this book? Where's the book? The book's in your living room. You're in your bedroom. And so you don't want to go there, right? Yeah, it is. What's the 3rd seal? I don't remember it, right? And the other person also doesn't remember. You don't remember it, and you know that it is in this book. Yeah, it is in the book. Yeah, please have a look at it. Oh no, it's in my living room, right? You don't want to go there. Okay, this is a form of laziness. Right? Whereas some people, for example, I say that some people, again, this is extreme. Some people physically they are very strong, and still we give into laziness. And some people physically they need so much rest. Because of the anemia, lack of iron in the body, the lack of B12, lack of vitamin D, and so forth. So they feel so fatigued, and then some people take lots of medication because medicines, the body becomes very fatigued, and still they struggle. Their body needs lots of rest. They struggle. This is again another extreme. You have to know your body so well. When your body becomes fatigued, when your body needs rest, you have to take rest. Don't force yourself. This will break you, it will not help you. And when you are physically healthy, strong, then your body can learn a lot. But when the body needs rest, give rest. This is so important. For example, in some cases, the biological composition is such that your body needs like at least 7 hours sleep, 8 hours sleep. Then we make sure that you get this amount of rest. This is so important. Okay, 1. Then number 2 is that otherwise with any other small things like so for example I have to get this, okay, it's in the kitchen, so I'll do it tomorrow. So these are all procrastination. This is all because why? To think of going there, to go there requires what? Intention to go. This intention is not coming. Why? Because to think of going there, this unpleasant feeling. This unpleasant feeling stops you from going there. I'll do tomorrow. Right? I have one very young niece. Very young niece. She was, I think, about like 13 or 14. Once she and her brother, 2 of them, came to my house for about a few days holiday. This very young girl, she is so good at saying, okay, now we have to wash the dishes. She will say, yes, I'll do it after 5 minutes. She's so good at saying this. Hey, you have to write something. Yes, I'll do it after 5 minutes. So good at saying this. Procrastination, right? Okay, so what I'm saying, this is all because to think of doing this unpleasant feeling arises. Moment unpleasant feeling arises, intention to do that does not come. You getting it? Okay, now, what should we do? Finally, we have to make things happen. We have to make things happen. That is, intention to do must be there. How to make this intention to do happen? How to make it happen? How to make this intention come? By creating a pleasant feeling. How to create a pleasant feeling?
Discrimination.
By changing the discrimination. Because what we learned is contact, attention, discrimination. Then the feeling. The feeling is determined by the discrimination. You getting it? Okay. Let's say that let's say that, okay, some people they try to, what do you call it? They try, what is that? Some people they in order to, as a joke, they put the ghost dress in the night, then they come to scare you. What is that called? Halloween? No, how do you put that in the sentence?
Oh, sorry.
How do you put that in sentence?
People wear costumes on Halloween to scare people.
Costumes of Halloween to scare people. Okay, so these people, they come with the costumes in Halloween of Halloween.
On Halloween?
On Halloween to scare you, right? To scare you, and then what happens to you? You're so scared. You're so scared, and sometimes you hit the other person, right? When the other person gets pain, then we'll remove the costume. Remove the costume. Are you scared or not? After you remove the costume, are you scared or not? You are not scared because you know the reality. Earlier, you have the discrimination. Discrimination meaning, discrimination has many connotations. One is gender discrimination. Discrimination is a negative word. But in one way, it has many shades of meaning. Discrimination. One is gender discrimination. This is very negative. But otherwise, discrimination means ability to distinguish things. Ability to distinguish things. And sometimes you erroneously distinguish, sometimes you correctly distinguish. So distinguishing, discrimination. So here, when we say discrimination, this is not a negative connotation. It is simply the distinguishing. Now, this discrimination, when you see the dress in Halloween, right, costume of Halloween, then you feel the fear. This fear, unpleasant feeling, pleasant feeling, fear. Very unpleasant feeling. This unpleasant feeling is because of the discrimination of a ghost. Because of discrimination, oh, there's a ghost there. There's a cognitive sign, cognitive aspect of mind. There's a ghost there. This is which part of the 5 functions are operating. There's a ghost there. Discrimination is operating. There's a ghost there. Then what happens? What's corresponding feeling? Very unpleasant feeling arises in you. You getting it? So this unpleasant feeling is because of this particular cognitive thought process, which is the wrong discrimination. When you unveil the costume, then you see your brother or you see your sister there, and then you are saying the fear dissolves. Unpleasant feeling dissolves. You getting it? Unpleasant feeling dissolves because of rectifying the discrimination. Now, what we are talking about is we are thinking of getting rid of all the fears of life. The fears of life, pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling. Unpleasant feeling. So this unpleasant feeling, the fears of life, they're all coming because of the particular set of discrimination. If you don't want to have this unpleasant feeling of the fear, you have to change the discrimination. You're getting it? You have to change the discrimination. Okay, don't forget this. What did I say? Yes, Virginia 19.
Change the discrimination to stop feeling fear.
Very good. We need to, in order to remove the feeling, this word, feeling, in order to remove the unpleasant feeling of the fear, we have to change the discrimination. We have to rectify the discrimination. How? This question. You're getting it? How? This question. Let us not forget this. Right? And then the next session, don't make me again go back. Okay. Now with this, let's say, stop it here for the time being. Now we switch to the next part. Okay, let's say, how many of you had, let's say, very scary dreams in your life? At least once in your life. You had scary dreams. Okay, raise hands. Okay, most of you. How many of you never had scary dreams in your life? Okay, Regina 18 and Mark. Oh, you did not have any scary dreams. Regina 18?
I don't remember.
Okay, you don't remember. Okay, what about Mark?
As far as I can remember, I only have pleasant dreams.
Well, you are very positive, thank you.
The real world is terrible enough, so in my dreams it is, whoa.
No, I'm not asking about whether you have a pleasant dream once. I know everybody has pleasant dreams. I'm talking about whether or not you had unpleasant dreams at least once. You don't remember. Okay, no, it doesn't matter. Have you heard about people having had a very nightmarish dream? Virginia 18? Do you know that other people have very bad dreams? Okay, let's say that we are having a very bad dream. A dream of ghosts chasing us. A dream of ghosts chasing us or tigers chasing us. But let's say ghosts chasing us. Right? But how many of you, in your dream, you are aware of your dreaming? How are you aware of that? Daniela? Maria? Okay, Thomas? Shark? Okay. And Jane? Okay, Mike. Wonderful. It happens every day? Every day. You remember that in your dream, you are aware that you're dreaming.
I realize I'm dreaming.
Every year, every day. It does happen.
Yeah,
But not every day.
let's go with that.
Okay. Okay, how many of you, every day, every time you have a dream, you are aware that I'm dreaming? No one. Okay. Let's say, what's this? Flower. Okay. And I show this flower to you. What's your feeling? Pleasant, unpleasant? Pleasant feeling. You don't challenge me. You say pleasant feeling. This answer that I'm waiting from you. Pleasant feeling. Right? Very pleasant feeling. For you to have this pleasant feeling, there must be the interaction between your mind and this object. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
To get the pleasant feeling of seeing the flower, the pleasant feeling is an internal phenomenon of the mind. And this internal phenomenon, the pleasant feeling, the internal phenomenon of the mind arises because of the interaction of your mind with the object. You agree with me or not? So this is the interplay of the object and the subject happening. Interaction of the object and subject happening, and because of which, then the pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling arises. Okay. Now going back to the dream. just as this flower affects you positively, this flower affects you positively, in the dreams also affect you positively and negatively. You agree with me or not? Good. The dreams also affect you positively and negatively. Particularly if the dream is very scary, it affects you very negatively. Okay. Say in the dream, you dream of the ghost chasing you, or say, let's say, a dream of your mother bringing cheesecake for you on your birthday. You are happy, not happy? Very happy. Very happy. And a wild cat, not a domestic cat. A wild cat jumps on the cake. If the domestic cat jumps on the cake, any of you will be very angry. Right? No, any of you will be very happy, very unhappy. Very unhappy to see this example. So I would say, suddenly a wild cat jumps on the cake, right? And topples the cake. Are you happy or not happy? Huh? Very unhappy. Huh? First you were happy. First when somebody's in the dream, somebody brings a cheesecake for you, you were very happy. Then you were very about to enjoy this. Right? The wild cat jumps on it and topples it. You're very unhappy. And your father comes. What happened? My birthday gift is toppled. The father said, don't worry, I'll give you iPhone X. Father said, don't worry, I'll give you iPhone X as your birthday gift. Are you happy or not happy? More happy. You'll be happy for the cat. The cat toppled, so therefore you're getting iPhone X. The cake at the most will cost you, will get you. The cake costs you how much? 10 euros. But the iPhone costs you, can I get you? 8. How many euros? 1,000. 1,000. It's just very lucky. Okay, so what I'm saying is that look, do you see that within the same dream, first you have a tremendous joy of getting the cheesecake. Then the next moment you are so unhappy when the cat topples the cheesecake. The third moment your father, to console you, gives you an iPhone X, brand new iPhone X, you're even more happy. So look, this is the fluctuation of the emotions happening within your dreams. You're getting it? This is exactly what is happening in our life. This is exactly what is happening in their life. Okay. Tell me. When the cat jumps on the cake and topples the cake, were you unhappy or happy? Very unhappy. Why were you unhappy? This was just a dream. Why were you unhappy? It's just a dream. Raise your hands. I cannot hear. Raise your hands, raise your hands, raise your hands. Okay, Pamela.
Because you didn't know you were dreaming, you had an unpleasant feeling that this was reality and my
Okay,
cake
you
was
thought?
destroyed.
You thought that the dream cheesecake being toppled, you see that as a real. You don't see that as a dream. So the unpleasant feeling arises. So this unpleasant feeling is what we call as unhappy. Very good. Okay. And then the next moment, your father said, don't worry, okay, forget about this cheesecake, I have a brand new iPhone X. Are you happy or very unhappy? Very happy. Unhappy. Somebody said unhappy. Okay. Very happy. You're very happy, right? Why are you happy? This is just a dream. It's not real. Why are you happy? Huh?
Because you don't realize you're dreaming.
Because you don't realize that you think. You don't realize this is you're dreaming. You think that this is a real iPhone X. Right? This dream iPhone is, you think that the dream iPhone is a real iPhone. Okay, tell me. Seeing the dream iPhone as a real iPhone, is that wisdom or ignorance? Ignorance. Okay. And seeing the dream cheesecake as real cheesecake is ignorance or wisdom? Ignorance. Okay, now. Okay, sometimes I used to have this dream where I fall from a cliff. Okay, how do you have such dreams in your life? Okay, right? You're about to fall and then you finally fall and then on the verge to hit the ground, right? On the verge to hit the ground, then what is your thought? So much of fear and now I'm gone, I'm done. So when you say I'm done, before you hit, you say I'm done and your mother wakes you up. The mother wakes you up. What's your feeling? Huh? Very intense relief comes to you. Okay, this is so important. Tell me, right? In the dream, seeing you falling, okay, the dream falling, seen as a real falling, is that ignorance or wisdom? Ignorance. Ignorance. Then, when you wake up, the fear dissolves. Why the fear dissolves? Because you realize that the falling was a dream falling. It's not a real falling. So seeing the dream falling as not a real falling, seeing the dream falling as a dream falling is wisdom or ignorance? Wisdom. Let us not forget this. So seeing the dream falling as a real falling is ignorance or wisdom? Ignorance. And outcome of that cognitive thought process, oh, I'm falling. This thought process, the outcome is fear. Outcome is fear. Then seeing the dream falling, as not real falling, is wisdom or ignorance? Wisdom. The outcome is relief. Do you see this? Relief. Okay, now tell me. So from this what we learn is that ignorance gives rise to fear. Wisdom gives rise to relief. Freedom from fear. Let us not forget this. I'll give you another example. Say you dream of being chased by a ghost. And the ghost is chasing you, you are running. Are you happy or not happy? No. Not happy. Then your father comes. Your father comes. What happens? You say, the ghost is chasing me. The father says, don't worry, I'll stop the ghost. Then the father recites, Om Mani Padme Hum. Father recites, Om Mani Padme Hum. And the ghost retreats. Are you happy or not happy? Happy. Very happy. Then the father said, okay, now can I leave? He said, okay, yes, thank you. The father leaves. Again the ghost comes back. Okay, so which is better? Say you dreaming of, say you with that fear of the ghost chasing you, along with you getting the relief of the father, the shying away the ghost, this relief is better. Okay, I will give you three scenarios. One, that you meet with the ghost and you are running. This experience. Number two, that father comes and saying Om Mani Padme Hum and the ghost retreats. Number two. Which do you prefer? Huh?
Number two.
Number two is better. Then number three, then you wake up. Number two is better. Oh, number two is very nice. The ghost runs away, it's very good. What's the problem with the number two? Why do you prefer number three? Yes, Lucia?
You wake up.
So what's good about waking up?
Realize wasn't real.
No, that's fine, but the second dream is also very nice. That your father said, Om Mani Padme Hum, that the ghost runs away, it's very good. What's wrong with it?
It's not it's still a dream.
Whether it's dream or not, it doesn't matter. You don't want the fear. The fear stops, right?
Yeah.
So what's the problem with the second one?
That's a rich, temporary. the ghost can come back.
Maya,
Oui, parce que de toute façon, comme le père il est parti tout à l'heure, le fantôme est revenu, ça veut dire que c'est une perturbation. Donc quand je me réveille, au moins c'est terminé, la perturbation.
Because when the father goes away, then the ghost comes again.
okay, so this is danger that it doesn't guarantee the ghost will not come back. Ghost can come back again, right? Okay. Yes, Martin?
This time, when we wake, we have
C'est
to
terminé.
Okay, when you wake up, okay, waking up with the knowledge, but in the dream also there's a knowledge. The ghost runs away, right? There's also a knowledge.
Yeah, but awakening is supposed to be knowledge of reality.
Okay, it's supposed to be real.
Yeah.
Waking up is a real knowledge or supposed to be knowledge?
In the example, it's supposed to.
Okay, waking up is a knowledge, whereas in the dream it's not knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Daniela?
It is quite similar. When you wake up, you are happy, but you are happy with the second proposition, which can give you good memories, good souvenirs, lucid dream. I can interpret like this.
Say it again.
You wake up,
You wake up.
a relief. It's important because of the first fear of the ghost chasing and so on. Then you keep in your mind, in your memories, in your souvenirs, the second proposition, the Father coming, praying, Om Mani Padme Hum, and the fear helping
Dissolves.
dissolves.
It's also nice.
It's nice.
So what's wrong with it? So between number 2 and number 3, why do you choose number 3? Which is Sophia?
We don't have choice.
Because when you wake up, you understand there are never ghosts at first. When you wake up, you understand from the beginning in your dream, the ghost never existed. Never.
Okay, the ghost never existed.
So you never have fear anymore.
So the fear is not there. So the fear dissolves even in the second scenario, right?
Yeah, but not forever.
Why?
Because you can dream again of a ghost or tiger or anything.
No, it's a dream, right? It's a dream. Dream is not real.
Yeah, but
So why are you scared of it?
because you think it's real when you dream. You don't
Okay.
think-
And then if you think it's real, then why don't you dream something good?
Because I cannot control it.
Huh?
I cannot decide my dream.
Okay, did you all follow what Sophia is saying? There are two things. One is, in the second case, your father he shied away the ghost with the mantra, but when the father leaves, the ghost can again come back in the dream. The dream ghost can again come back. Then what the next question I ask? This is just a dream. Dream meaning is not somebody else coming. It's you. You are creating the dream. Why don't you create a good dream? What's the answer? I cannot control the good dream. You getting it? Okay, there are two things. One, okay, look. Meeting with the ghost chasing you in the dream. That's the suffering. Meeting with the father and the ghost runs away. You get a relief. This is suffering of change. The fact that in both cases is still a dream. You don't have the freedom. That's a pervasive condition suffering.
What is the third one? Can you repeat that?
Which one?
The last one.
The last one. Both dreams have another problem. The problem is that the fact that these are dreams, and these dreams are not in mind, I don't have the choice to choose the dream. Which means whether it's a good dream or bad dream, I don't have the choice. The weakness with the dream, the flaw, the drawback of the dream is that I don't have the choice, I don't have the freedom to choose the dream. That is a lack of freedom. Lack of freedom is the pervasive condition suffering. Meeting with the ghost is suffering. Then meeting with the father and ghost running away is suffering change. That the fact that it is a dream, be it good dream or bad dream, both cases it's a dream, means you don't have the freedom to choose the dream. That is pervasive conditioned suffering. You getting it? This is very important. Dreams you cannot choose. Okay, how many you have today is what?
5 July.
5th July. Okay, but tomorrow is the birthday. Okay, tonight, how many you like to have the dream to be with His Holiness the Dalai Lama, to have a cup of tea with him? How many like to have a dream? How do you have a dream of His Holiness the Dalai Lama inviting you for a cup of tea? Raise your hands. Oh, you're all smiling. Wonderful. My question to you. How many of you are going to have this dream tonight? Raise your hands. How many of you are going to have the dream to be with His Holiness the Dalai Lama, that His Holiness inviting you for a cup of tea? How many of you are going to have the dream? No? You don't like it?
On n'a pas le choix. On n'a pas le choix.
Huh? Good. So, it's a pleasant dream. I like it, but I don't have the freedom to choose it. That's the problem. Right? Although the dream, a very pleasant dream to be with His Holiness, that everybody craves to have that. But we cannot choose that. It's not in my hand. Okay. So with this, what we see is that although the dream is what my mind is creating it. For example, this flower, to have the pleasant feeling, it is your subject, your mind, and the flower needs to interact. Interact and the pleasant feeling comes to you. And your mind interacts with the dream, and then dream of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and the pleasant feeling comes to you. Dream of the goals, unpleasant feeling comes to you. So, you don't want unpleasant feeling. And this dream is what your mind creates. What your mind creates. So, why don't you create a good dream? It is not in the hand. It's not in the hand. Which means that, see, where the dream, which is actually your own mental creation. Own mental creation, yet you don't have the freedom to choose that. That is a lack of freedom. You have lost the freedom. Lack of freedom is misery. Misery is samsara. You getting it? Okay. So, just as a dream is what your mind creates, do you agree with me? Do you agree with me?
Yes.
The dream is what my mind creates. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
Yes. Which means that as the dream, if the dream lasts for 1 hour, your mind is busy projecting the dream. Your mind is active for 1 hour projecting the dream. Do you agree with me? And when the dream is created, you are unaware that you are creating it. Do you agree with me? Rare cases, you are aware that I'm dreaming. Otherwise, in most cases, when you're dreaming, you don't think that you're dreaming. You don't know that you're dreaming. Look, your mind projects, number one, but you're not aware that you're projecting it. This is ignorance. Your mind projects the dream, and you are unaware that you're projecting it. Because you are unaware that you're projecting it, you see it as real. Three things. One, what? Your mind projects the dream. Number two, you are unaware that you're projecting it. Number three, therefore you see it as real. The dream is real. You got it? Good. Likewise, whatever we are seeing now, whatever we are experiencing now, whatever we are seeing, hearing, sensing, cool, all these are like dreams. They're all coming from our mind. This is all coming from our mind. Okay. How many of you have watched a movie in a movie theater? Okay, this is my wrong question. The correct question: how many of you have not watched a movie in a movie theater? How many of you have not watched a movie in a movie theater in your life? Not even once. No one, which means we all watched a movie in a movie theater. Okay, let's say that you are watching a movie in a movie theater. What movie? Titanic, let's say. We are watching Titanic here. Where's the movie?
On the screen.
On the screen. On the screen. The movie is on the screen. Where's the movie coming from? Coming from the projector. Where's the projector? Behind you. So what we have to say is the movie is on the screen, it's not from the screen. Don't forget it. The movie is on the screen, but it's not from the screen. Okay, where's the movie from then? From the projector. You're getting it? Okay, the flower is there. Hey, look, the flower is there. Flower is not from there. Don't forget it. Right? The flower is there. Flower is not from there. The movie is on the screen. It's not from the screen. The movie is from the projector. Flower is there, but the flower is not from there. It's from the projector like my mind. The flower is from the projector like your mind. Your mind is the projector which projects everything else. Your mind is a projector which projects everything else like the dreaming mind. Just as the dreaming mind projects everything, your mind projects everything. You may be wondering, no, it can't be true. Look at this flower. Multiple facets to this flower. Multiple. My mind cannot, create all these projects. These multiple facets. You can do that. Okay, this could be what you may feel. But in the dream, you will say the same thing. Imagine that you are in the middle of Manhattan. Imagine that you're in the middle of Manhattan, and you look at all these buildings with the hundreds of thousands of glasses, and the people, the shops, all these things. If somebody in the dream, if somebody says, you're dreaming, no, I can't. How can I project all these details, all these innumerable, infinite billions of details? How can I project? My mind cannot project these things. Right? You wake up, you'll be fascinated to see that. Wow, you'll be amazed. My mind has that capacity to project all these things. Right? Okay. So with this, in other words, the reality is that all what we are seeing, the way the dreams, unpleasant, pleasant dreams, they are nothing but the projection of your mind. Just as the movie is on the screen, but it's not from the screen. Likewise, everything else. They don't exist from the object. They come from the projected like our own mind. Okay. If this is where we reached, if this is the point where we reached, what would be the next question? What would be the next question? Yes, Thomas?
How can we change the movie of our life, the dream?
Sorry?
How can we change our dream, our movie?
How can we change the movie?
We control
Yeah.
How can we control the movie?
the movie and the dream.
Okay, how can we control the movie and the dream of your life? Okay, this is a question. So what we said was one. What did we say? I gave you only three choices. I didn't give you 4 choices. I gave you 3 choices. The first one is ghost dream. Second one is your father rescuing from the ghost. Third one is waking up. I didn't give you a 4th choice where you can change the dream. I didn't give you that choice. You choose only one of these 3. Right? So Thomas and Sharp, 2 of them are, so ambitious. I think you was changing the dream all the time, right? Getting the power to change the dream, right? I said that no, at the most what you can do is, anyway, what Sophie said is, even the pleasant dream, there's a problem. Even with the pleasant dream, there's a problem. That I cannot change the dream. I cannot control the dream. So what's the best thing to do? Wake up. Right? That's the best thing. Wake up. Wake up. It's for this reason that the Buddha is revered as the fully awakened one. The Buddha is revered as the fully awakened one. Right? Okay. So if this is a point where we reached now, what would be the next question to me? Yes, I'm not seeing with him. Okay.
How to wake up?
Okay, how to wake up?
Yes.
Virginia 18?
I was going to say, how do I realize it is a screen and not the reality, and how is it going to help me to feel better?
Say again.
How can I realize that the movie is on the screen and not is not real, and how this is going to help me to get better?
Okay. So in a way, the two are saying how to wake up. Number one, how to wake up. Number two, how do I know that this is all coming from the projector, not from the screen? And once you realize this, how can it help me to remove my problems? Okay, very good. Anybody else? Or you all agree with two of them? Okay, so how to wake up? These questions. So it is for this reason that do you agree that the moment you start doubting that, oh, it could be a dream, if you have no clue that you're dreaming at all, if you have no clue at all that you're dreaming, then you take for granted that it's so real. If you take for granted you're so real, you're always under the slave. You're always as a slave to the dream. Do you agree with me? When will you be freed from being the slave of the dream? The moment you question the dream, whether or not this is dream, this is real or dream. When you question this, then you start to be away, free yourself from being the slave of the dream. Like this is what Acharya and the Aryadev said. Those with less merit will not even have a doubt in this teaching on the ultimate reality and emptiness. Should there be a doubt, is this real? Such a question comes to you, will shatter your samsara into pieces. What is samsara? Samsara is nothing, involuntarily creating the dreams. Involuntarily creating the dreams, this is samsara. Right? When you question that this can be a dream, means this is taking you to stop the dream. Wake up. The moment you wake up, you stop the dream. The moment that you stop the dream, the pleasant dreams, unpleasant dreams, you are free. Which is greater freedom? That you are free from the ghost because of your father intervening, or you wake up, which is greater freedom? Waking up is greater freedom. Okay, so therefore, we need to wake up. We need to wake up. So the question is, how to wake up? How to wake up? This is the question. You getting it? Okay. Daniela?
The first step can be you analyze and you reason about the situations.
Yes.
And with analysis, you will ask, is it real? It is not real.
Okay, we have to analyze. With analysis, you will ask whether what we are seeing is real or not real. Then you will realize that it's not real. Very good. Okay, so the question is, how can I wake up from the sleep of ignorance? This is the question. You getting it? Okay. So with this, you have to tell me. Why are you smiling? Huh? Oh, you tell me what I'm doing. Tell me what I'm doing. Okay, you will say that you are drinking water. The chemist will say that I'm drinking H2O. The physicist will say that I'm drinking electrons, protons, neutrons. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
Okay. So, the same thing. you say that I'm drinking water. Chemists say that you are drinking H2O. And the physicists will say I'm drinking electrons, protons, neutrons. These three are these three are seen as contrast. There's such a contrast in seeing the same object in three different ways. Such a contrast way of seeing things, seeing the same object. Which of the three perceptions is correct? Okay. If I say that I'm a boy, correct or not correct? Hey. No, don't joke. I'm joking. Okay, let's say. Okay, let's say. This is a flower, correct or not correct? This is not flower, correct or not correct? If it is flower, it cannot be non-flower. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
Huh? Yes. If it is flower, it cannot be non-flower. To say that it is flower, the same object is flower. To say that it is not flower, this is contradictory. Likewise, to say that this is pleasant to drink, this is not pleasant to drink, these two are contradictory. Do you agree with me? Huh? Yes. So when you see me drinking water, is it pleasant or unpleasant? Under a very scorching sun. Very pleasant. If you see me drinking electrons, protons, neutrons, is it pleasant or not pleasant? Huh?
Depends.
Anna Sophie? Huh? Pleasant or pleasant? Which means not pleasant, right? How she's smiling. It's not pleasant. Okay, if you see me drinking electrons, protons, neutrons, is it pleasant or unpleasant? Electrons, protons, neutrons of water, electrons, protons, neutrons of rocks, there's no difference. Right? Do you agree with me? Electrons, protons, neutrons of the water and electrons, protons, neutrons of the rock, there's no difference. 100% there's no difference. Right? The rock, the composition may have more carbon with more number of electrons, more number of protons, that's it. The basic electrons, protons, neutrons, what constitutes this water, what constitutes rock, the basic electrons, protons, neutrons is the same. There's no difference. So just as you don't feel fun to see that somebody is drinking the electrons, protons, neutrons of the rock, you will not feel fun to see somebody drinking electrons, protons, neutrons of water. There's no fun. There's no. But when you see me drinking water under scorching sun, scorching heat, and you feel that, wow, it's so nice. By drinking this rock, no fun. So these two are contradictory. So how can I say that these two are valid? Both are correct? Tell me. These two are contradictory. To see somebody drinking very pleasant and to see somebody drinking unpleasant, these two are contradictory. Right? With the same object. If it is two different objects, then that's fine. But the same object, one describes this as drinking water, one describes this as drinking electrons, protons, neutrons. This is correct. Which is correct? Huh? Huh? No, not correct. Wow, Sophie is revolutionary. Which is correct?
They do so correct. Both.
Both are correct.
Yeah.
But one says that you are doing a pleasant thing, and the other one is pleasant. They are saying that you are doing an unpleasant thing. So this is contradictory.
For alchemists, this is electron.
Huh?
For the chemists.
For chemists, yes.
Yeah, it is electron.
Yes, that's true. I agree with you. So therefore, to see me drinking electrons, protons, neutrons, you will not have a pleasant feeling. To see me drink water, you will have a pleasant feeling. Right? Yeah, so therefore, okay, but you may have...
Well, it's all about association, right?
Say it again.
It's all about association. So I can associate with you drinking water in the sun, but I cannot associate with you drinking neutrons and protons and whatever.
So this is how you perceive.
Yeah.
Now the physicists perceive me as drinking electrons, protons, neutrons under the sun. Right? So which of the two perceptions is correct?
Both.
But these are very contradictory.
Why is contradictory?
Because one is very pleasant, one is unpleasant.
why would the physicist think that it's unpleasant to drink protons and neutrons?
Of course, protons and neutrons are rocks, there's no difference. Drinking the electrons, protons, neutrons, rocks doesn't give you any pleasant feeling.
But I am different than the physicist, so it's his.
Yes, you two are different, but it's the same object.
So what?
So the same object is described as different. And you say, let's say that you say that, oh, this is a flower, another person who's different from you said this is not flower. You both cannot be correct.
Depends, if it comes from the object it cannot be correct, but if it comes from me it can be both correct, right?
Which one? You said it's a flower from you.
Yes.
And the other person said this is not flower from him.
Yes.
So we can't say that both are correct. One is wrong.
No.
Of course. Why? Because this is not a non-flower. This is a flower.
But for a dog it's not a flower.
I'm not talking with the dog, I'm talking with a human being.
So
and a human being.
But it depends, like if the one is coming from a funeral, he sees like her dead mother, and I come from a wedding, I see a happy married couple.
No, so what I'm saying is that the person who is seeing this bunch of ash, this is not true.
No, but they associate that with their...
No. Her association is different. What I'm saying is this is flower blood. This is my question. I'm not talking about what is the association. This is not my question.
Not sure.
So Sheila.
This is just mental definition, and we can see that two different perceptions.
Okay, two different perceptions taking place. Yes.
Just some mental definition. There's objectively there's nothing exists. There's nothing exists. Subjectively, whatever exists, Ashura equals 2. I mean, Ashura equals 2 or an entity equals 1.
Okay, let's say. Okay, what Tashila said. Did you follow what Tashila said? Huh? No. Everybody's talking about the Carl Jung's philosophy. Okay, I'm joking. So what Tashila says will make sense a little later. So I'll try and explain this first. Let's say Dominic, do you have any niece? Do you have niece or nephew?
Yes.
What is your nephew's name? Huh? Oh, you have the niece? Niece's name. Niece also Jugim, nephew is also Jugim. The niece, what is her niece's name?
The name of her niece is Julie.
Julie. Okay, let's say one Dominic. Okay, right? Let's keep this in mind. One Dominic. Now the Isabel is looking at Dominic as my mother, right? And Julie is looking at Dominic, my auntie. Who's correct? Julie will say no, not mother, auntie. And Isabel said not auntie, mother. Who's correct? Both are correct. You getting it?
Yeah.
Both are correct. Two different perceptions are taking place. Both are correct. Both are correct. Both are correct. Why do you say that? That Dominic's mother, when Isabel said that Dominic is my mother, is correct or not correct? Huh? Correct or not correct? When Isabel says that, oh, Dominic is my mother, correct or not correct? Correct. Then Julia says, oh, Dominic is my mother, correct or not correct? Not correct. She is my mother or not? Huh? When this mother, my mother with respect to Isabel is correct. My mother with respect to Julie is not correct. Huh? You're getting it? So therefore, Dominic being a mother makes sense or not sense is nothing from the object. It's with respect to the frame of reference. But dependence on Isabel is correct. With dependence on Julie is not correct. You're getting it? So the same object can be seen by two different subjects. The same object seen by two different subjects and the same object can be seen in two different ways. Two different ways means two different perceptions. Two different perceptions. Okay, tell me, is there water or not?
Yes.
Okay, you miss it, it's empty. Here. Here. Is there water or not?
Yes.
Huh? Is there electrons, protons, neutrons or not?
Yes.
Inside this?
Yes.
Yes. Which electron is water? Which proton is water? None of them. Yes. Where is water then? Huh? Okay. Where's water?
In your hand.
Where's the water? Which one? Which electron? The first electron, the second electron. I have only 1,000 electrons.
The combination.
First electron, second electron, third electron. Which is the water? Huh? None of them. There's no water inside. There's water, no water in my hand. Huh? What's in my hand is just a bunch of atoms.
Together, like
when you subjectively analyze, then you would end up finding the atoms and the particles that other than you can find. But the appearance you can see in the water, when you go subject that you to analyze, you can end up in the atoms. Atoms is not the water.
Okay, none of the atom of this is the water. If you go deep, then you will not find the water. You only find the atoms. So if you want to see the water, you have to stay away from it. Don't go too close to that. You have to stay away from that. You getting it? Okay. So one example which I think I gave last year. I don't know whether I gave this example last year. Say Okay, let's say that the image of the Buddha, this image of the Buddha, we developed this into 40 feet by 40 feet, huge. And this image of the Buddha is made of, let's say, 200 dpi's, 200 dots per inch. 200 dots per inch, which means it is made of 40,000 dots. It is made of 40,000 dots. If this picture is blown up to like 40 feet by 40 feet, it's huge. So the dots will enlarge and the gap between the dots will also enlarge. Do you agree with me? Yes. Okay. Now you develop it to such a size, and each of the dots, the developer creatively makes into a demon's face. Each of the dots, they are the demon's face. Right? You look at it very closely, you see 40,000 demon's faces. Right? And then, on the birthday of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, you put this up on just outside you put it up. You make it stand in open space. Then from 100 kilometers away, you will see what? You will see the Buddha picture. And from those close by, you will see the demon's faces. You getting it? Those people 1 kilometer away from there, people will say Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. I prostrate to the Buddha. Right? And people close to the image, they say, what is Buddha? Where is this? These are all demons. Right? What are these people doing? They are prostrating to the demons. And these people think that, what are they? They are not showing any respect to the Buddha. Right? They are showing no respect to the Buddha. And you are saying what? Group A is nearby the screen, and the group B, you are 1 kilometer away from the screen. So group A looks at it, you see just the demon's faces. And group B looks at Buddha's beautiful Buddha image. And group A looks at group B, says, what are you doing? Right? You are worshipping the demons. And group A tells group B, what are you doing? You are showing no respect to Buddha. Who is correct? And you two of you are having a fight. Who is correct?
Ultimately, or
who's that?
Thomas. La réalité.
Okay, Thomas.
Ultimately or conventionally?
Oh wow, it's amazing. Okay, so say you are nearby.
You are nearby, you never saw this picture from far away. I tell you what is on the screen. 14,000 demon faces, right? And group B, you never saw it from close by. You see it from distance. What do you see on the screen? Hey, group B, Buddha. Right? Group A says no Buddha, demons. Group B says Buddha, no demons. Who's correct? Bus. Who's correct? Both correct. So this picture is both demon picture as well as Buddha picture.
Yes.
So why should you fight then? Why do you have to fight?
They don't have to fight.
No, they are fighting. You are fighting.
But they don't have to.
No, you are fighting. You are saying that why are you not respecting the Buddha image? Don't think that you attend the class. Just think that you are 1 kilometer away from the screen. Right? You have never seen this picture close by. You say it's a beautiful Buddha. Right? And Sophie is saying, no, it's demons. And Sophie is revolutionary, you know that. Right? It's demons, why are you frustrating? So there's a fight happening. Right? Yes, Sophie.
But it's because they both think they are right. They both think what they believe is true. That's why.
I said, Buddha correct.
That's the reason.
So which means this is demon face?
They both think.
No, is it demon face or not?
Both are.
Demon picture or not? This is demon picture. If you are correct, this should be demon picture. If they are correct, this should be Buddha picture. Which is correct? Both are correct.
Independence of what they see, it's correct or not correct. Independence of
Dependence on the seer. Dependence on the seer. Subject. Okay, did you follow what the Sophie is saying? What is there? Group A seeing this as the demon's faces, it is with respect to the group A's perception. And what is there is a Buddha's image is with respect to the perception of group B. You're getting it? This is what she said. Right? Okay, do you follow this? This is very important. So both are correct, not in the sense that this is Buddha picture, this is demon's face. No. This is a demon's face. Both are correct in what sense? In the sense that these are the demon faces with respect to the perception of group A. This is a Buddha image, is it correct, with respect to the group B's perception. You getting it? Which means what is there you have to describe with the perception. Perception is on the subject or on the object? Perception. Subject. So it's not from the object, it's a subject. Right? Buddha, demon, water, electrons, protons. It's just the subject, it's not the object. You're getting it? So from this, just imagine, okay, now let's imagine that group A is seeing this as the demon spaces, group B is seeing this as the Buddha image. So which means what you said, what Sophie said, what you all agree with us is that what it is determined by the perception. Which perception? Perception from the nearby, perception from the far away. Perception. If it is perception, perception is not the object, it's the subject. When we talk about this flower, enjoy just being the pleasant feeling when you see this flower, it's the interaction taking place between the object and subject. So what we see is that seeing this demon faces, unpleasant feeling comes, seeing the Buddha image, pleasant feeling comes. This is because of the interaction with the object and subject, or particularly the perception. Perception is purely subject, it's not the object. Now, that's very important. Okay, now imagine. Get rid of. Okay, keep that for the time being. Okay, now don't forget this. We see that with the same object you can have different perceptions, two different perceptions. Do you hear me? One, when you look at very closely, for example, with the image of this image, when you look at closely, you see it as demon's faces. When you look at from a distance, you see it as Buddha image. Two different perceptions, two opposite perceptions are taking place. And keep in mind that the perceptions are purely subjective. Because it's two different subjects, two different perceptions is permissible. Two different perceptions is permissible. When it's purely objective, purely from the object, then the two different objects cannot be possible with the same object. Whereas although it's the same object, the two different perceptions are permissible because two different subjects are there. Let's not forget this. Okay, now, just as we do with this image, let us do with the person sitting next to you. Person sitting next to you. Okay, look at the other person sitting next to you. Look at the other person sitting next to you. Jerome is so excited. Jerome is so excited, right? Okay, I simply asked you to look at the other person. I did not ask you to smile. Okay, I did not ask you to smile. Just look at the other person. Don't show anger also. Right? Look at the other person. Still we are smiling. Okay, never mind, we are smiling. Okay. Okay, listen now. Wow, two visionaries is amazing. Look, they are still busy with each other. Okay. Okay, now, do you agree with me? Okay, what made you smile is because you are seeing seeing something there. Because you are seeing something there. You're getting it? Because you are seeing something. The perception makes the emotional states. Perception makes the emotional states. Because you're perceiving something that makes you to smile. Don't forget it. Do you agree with me? What made you smile? What made you smile is a bunch of atoms. Do you agree with me or not? Huh? Do you agree with me that what made you smile is just nothing but a bunch of atoms? You just looked at the other person's face. The face is nothing but a bunch of atoms. Do you agree with me or not? Huh? Yes. Okay. Okay, now, don't look at the other person. Simply imagine you're looking at a bunch of atoms. Simply imagine you just go to the reality that the other person's face is nothing but a bunch of atoms. Just look at it. Just look at it. Just think of looking at it. Bunch of atoms. Okay, do it now. Just see the other person. Try to see the other person in the other person's face. Don't look at the other person. Hey, Sophie, don't look at the other person. Don't look at Kathy, and still you are saying that don't look at it. Okay, don't look at it. If possible, close your eyes and think of the other person's face in the form of a bunch of atoms. Okay, thank you. I'm very happy that I don't have to send anybody to mental hospital. Because if you're smiling, to see a bunch of atoms still you're smiling, something's wrong with you. So I have to send you to mental hospital. Luckily nobody's smiling. Now tell me, it's the same object, it's the same object. When you see in the natural form, it makes you smile. When you see that in the form of a bunch of atoms, it doesn't make you smile. Do you see difference? Do you see difference? What made you smile? The same object at one point it makes you smile. The same object on another occasion doesn't make you smile. Why?
One is ignorance, one is wisdom.
Okay, one is wisdom, one is ignorance. Okay, anybody else? Just speak. Okay, Sophie?
The way we determine l'objet.
Say it again.
La manière dont on détermine l'objet, en fait.
The way that we identify the object.
Okay, it depends on how you identify the object. If you identify the object as a person's face, then it makes you smile. If you identify the object as a bunch of atoms, it doesn't make you smile. Do you agree with Sophie? Anna Sophie? Hey, do you agree with Anna Sophie?
Yes.
Very good. Very good. Which means that it is how you look at it. How you look at it means it is subject. It's not the subject. It's not the object. It's the subject. You getting it? Okay. Okay. Oh, you should have done one way before. Okay, stop here. Gade
gate paragate parasamgate bodhisvadyata om gate gate paragate parasamgate bodhisvadyata om gate gate paragate parasamgate bodhisvadyata